Welcome to Reach for Healing. I'm Rebecca Harmon, and it's Wednesday, September 16th. And as promised, I'm kicking off day one of our 40-day abundance journey following the process outlined in John Randolph Price's abundance book. I'm going to share my screen here and get us started off on the right foot here. So this is our abundance journey. That's my name. I consider myself a metaphysical teacher, and I do write. My blog can be found on WordPress, practitionerspath.wordpress.com, and lots of spiritual lessons and stories there for you to read through. 6 years worth, more than 6 years worth. So the abundance book that we will be using on our journey is pictured here. It's a small book. It's called The Abundance Book. It was written by John Randolph Price, who is a metaphysical Christian, who was a metaphysical Christian. I believe he passed away in 2012. And it's a very small book. It's very thin, less than a half an inch thick, and it's probably about 3 by 4, maybe 3 by 5 in terms of height and width. And it is the guide that we're going to use on our journey to really know, to download and accept and embrace this truth that the source of all of our good is always provided, and we always have what we need and what we want. This is a process, and I'm going to share with you before we kick off this day one a story about someone in my family that uses this process as I do, and the experience that they had. A number of years ago, this person in my family, a young woman, married with small children, they were living in a rental property. They were living in a rental house. And they knew in their hearts at some point when as the kids were starting to get older, that they would need to look at moving. They weren't sure what that would look like. They wanted to keep their kids in the same school district. They worked hard, but they didn't have a lot of money saved to where they could go and purchase a home with any ease. In fact, I don't think they had any money in the bank, maybe a couple $100s at the most. And as they contemplated, and mostly the young mother there, she would contemplate, what's going to happen. But she had been exposed to this concept of the abundance book and the concepts that John Randolph Price wrote about in the book. And one day, the landlord showed up at their house and told them that he was selling the property and they needed to move out soon. When you aren't sure how that's going to happen, it can be very stress-inducing. And so while they mobilized and started to pack and make plans, the young mother also got out a notebook and a pen and began to journal. And what I want to share with you is an experience that is not unusual for people that embark on this journey and take it to heart. She began her 40-day journey. And on day 40, she and her husband closed on a home that they were able to purchase. It is still a little breathtaking when we think about it. I was talking to this mother not very long ago, and we were remembering that experience that they had. And if you're hearing about this for the first time, this whole concept of the abundance journey and the abundance book, and as you get into it, especially if you're someone who doesn't like a lot of the overtly religious language that John Randolph Price uses, he considered himself, like I said, to be a metaphysical Christian. And so some people really don't like the language of the abundance journey. But I am here to tell you, not only my own experience, but the experience, probably the most extraordinary experience that this family member of mine had with this journey. When you go in full force and give it your all and work this journey, it can open doors and open a path, or like Florence Scovel Shinn, one of my favorite writers from the early 20th century in metaphysics, as she liked to say and wrote often in her books, God makes a way when there is no way. This 40-day abundance journey is a way of opening ourselves up to seeing those ways as they appear when we're certain that there is no way. I hope you're ready. So let's get started with day one's statement. This is statement one, and I'm going to read it. And what you're going to do is write down today's date and the number one or statement one, and then you're going to copy this down verbatim in your journal. Statement number one for day one. God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. I hope you'll come back tomorrow and join us for day two. Get started with your journey and your journal this evening, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.